Okay, so for 1 through 6, you are looking at the graphs of f of x and g of x. I really like color coding things, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So f of x will be my red function, and g of x will be my green function. Okay, it's important to notice that this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. Same here, x-axis. Oops. My programs tend to freak out sometimes. There we go. Okay. So x-axis over here, y-axis over here. So the function on the left, f of x, has quite a few ordered pairs on it, technically an infinite amount of points, but I'm going to go ahead and just concentrate on the ones that are very clearly visible and don't land on any, land on exact points. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is just a line with a slope of -1, or a line segment. Okay, so I tend to do that. You don't have to. You might be able to, just by looking at it, tell what the ordered pairs are, but I always like to just make them a little bit bigger. So we've learned a few operations. We've learned addition with functions, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We've also learned composition, and composition is shown with an open circle. So number 1 is a composition of functions. You have to memorize that g of f of x is the same as this notation, g of f of x. In this case, g of f of 2. So those are both equivalent expressions. What they want you to do is they want you to take the first function, the g function, and they want you to substitute the answer to f of 2. Okay, so the first function you drop it down, the second function you evaluate at the value of f of 2. So I'm going to go to the red function, f of x, and I'm going to look for the x value of 2. The x value of 2 on the x-axis, and then you're going to follow. You see how the grid lines go up and down for the values on the x-axis? So I'm going to follow it until I hit an ordered pair on the function, which happens to be at 2, 0. So they gave you an x value of 2. Your job is to give me the y value. So the y value is 0. So f of 2 is 0. And now I'm going to use that value to evaluate the function g at that x value. So now I'm looking at g, the g function, and using an x value of 0. So g, here's 0. Follow till you hit an ordered pair on the graph. That's 0, 4. So the answer of g of 0 is 4. And that's the final answer for g of f of 2. Remember that when they give you f of a number, they're asking you to find y. Okay, so here they gave you the 0. G of 0 means that 0 is an x value, and you had to find its matching y value. Okay, we've got another composition of functions. So they want f of g of 0. You're going to evaluate g of 0. That's the green function. Remember, that's an x value. Well, we just did that in the previous problem. G of 0 is 4. So g of 0 is 4. The f function, I'm going to bring it down to f. And remember that g of 0 is 4, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. So g of 0 is 4, and now I'm going to evaluate the f function at its 4. So the f function, 1, 2, 3, 4 is right here. So follow it till you hit an ordered pair. So this is 4, 4. They gave you the x value of 4. You're going to find its partner, which is positive 4. For the next problem, they want you to do g minus f of 3. Since we don't have equations, I can't subtract the two functions and then substitute the 3. So it's very important that you look at your notes and you ask yourself, how else can I write this? You can separate it into g of 3 minus f of 3, and it'll still be the same answer. So g minus f of 3 is the same as g of 3 minus f of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my graph and look for the x value for the g function of 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. That ordered pair is 3, 1. They gave me the x. My job is to give them the y. So the y value is 1. F of 3. I'm going to look at the red function. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3. That's a value of 3, 2. They gave me the x value of 3. I have to give them the 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Okay, so closed circle means multiplication. Again, this is the same as g of 1 times f of 1. G of 1, so looking at the green function, g of 1 is 3, because the ordered pair that has an x value of 1 is 1, 3. I forgot to label that this was an x value on the f function. Okay, so the f function, f of 1, the ordered pair is 1, 2. So again, g of 1 is 3, and f of 1 is 2. So my answer is 3 times 2, which is 6. Okay, and then f over g of 4. Again, it's important for you to memorize what the question is asking. And how else can we write the steps? So we don't have equations, so I can't simplify f over g and then substitute a 4. So I need to break it up into f of 4 divided by g of 4. So f of 4, so if you look at the graph for the f function, f of 4 is 4, because the ordered pair 4, 4, right? So remember we talked about that already? We did it in a previous problem. So f of 4 is 4. G of 4, so now I'm looking at the g function. G of 4 is 0. Well, anytime you're dividing by 0 in a fraction, the value is undefined, just like it was in slope. So anytime you have a fraction with a 0 in the denominator, that's undefined. Okay, last but not least, g minus f of 3. I'm going to go ahead and separate those and find g of 3 minus f of 3. So g of 3, that's going to be in the green function. G of 3 is 1 because of the ordered pair 3, 1. F of 3 is 2 because of the ordered pair 3, 2. And then 1 minus 2 is negative 1.